If you're happy and you know
There you
it,
go.
clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your life should be
Sometimes
simple and
wonderful,
trust God and
good and happy and
not,
exciting.
not depressed and angry.
At least most days.
And one to smack a dude in the mouth.
What?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Oh my word.
You know, everyone's hating on my boy Will,
Well,
which I don't know. Here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. Welcome to Tugmore, everybody. Here's what I do know.
What?
I have wanted to smack
Hey,
a grown man in the face so many times.
me too.
And so I'm sitting there watching it. I didn't watch the Oscars or Grammys or whatever that was.
The Oscars.
I didn't watch it, but you know that I opened my phone this morning. The first thing I saw was Will smacking smacking Chris. I've wanted to do that 100 times,
Yeah.
but I never actually was
Because
on enough medication to go and do it or whatever happened.
Are you,
Like, good.
He's not making any public claims about people. No, there's lots of times in my life I've wanted to do that, but then to actually go up and do that is a totally shocking, different. Have you rewound and like found the clips from previous to and then after and how it all went down?
No.
Oh, it's very interesting because he's a comedian. It's his job to like make fun of things.
Yeah.
That's literally what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think he thought that this was part of the joke. And then it was like,
Oh, he thought Will was going to come and be like, oh, yeah?
watch that. And
Yeah.
like do some other smackdown too. Nope, he smacked him down. That was crazy.
It reminded me of, you ever see Independence Day?
Did I ever see Independence Day? Only ever Independence Day.
So Independence Day, the alien ship
Right.
crashes and then Will Smith goes and he punches the alien in the head and he goes, welcome to Earth.
Right.
That's what happened.
Exactly what
Chris
happened.
Rock just got welcomed to Earth
Oh, my word.
by Will Smith. Now, I'm going to tell you this.
What?
Chris Rock just got major points.
100. Because I'm telling you, that dude, he stumbled.
Literally.
He was literally taken by surprise.
He's smacked in the mouth by a man a foot taller.
Oh, yes.
Will Smith played Muhammad Ali.
Exactly. He'd been practicing for that role for a long time.
Smacked him in the mouth, and Chris Rock kept smiling. Not one time rubbed his face.
Nope. He literally looked like, that was fun. Like his reaction.
Yeah.
And then he actually, the show must go on. Like he continued.
I mean, I don't know what happened after that. But then did Will still get an award?
Later in the night.
Yeah,
so
no.
what happened was, Chris comes out, he's like welcoming, last year was the lowest watched Oscars in like forever.
Oh, well then they just needed some action.
Yeah, everyone was trying to be joyful. They got Beyonce there performing, like they were trying so hard. So he comes out all funny and like he talks to Denzel and is laughing. He's making a couple of jokes, then that happens. And he literally is like, well, welcome to the most exciting day in evening in television. And like just keeps rolling like nothing happened. And then presents an award right after that. But then, Will gets an award, I don't know how long later, because I didn't watch it all, but later in the night, because he wins for, the King, was it Best Actor for, which is like the final.
The Kings of Leon?
No, for being Serena and Venus Williams' dad. What is it called? King Richard, that's right.
I haven't seen
King
it.
Richard. I haven't either. But
I like watching movies that are happy.
I think it's
or
happy-ish.
lots of people die. But like
Those
dramas,
those are...
they are if you're the good guy. If you're Rambo, it's the best day ever.
It's true. I guess you're right. But it was shocking. And then, I don't know. I have no idea if it was publicity. I have no idea if it was somewhat planned. I have no idea who was right and who was wrong.
Well, I'll tell you
But
what.
it was crazy.
This is our first ever episode of Tug of War where we've talked about something that's happened
Like it, though.
in
Relevant culture.
relevant culture
We do
society.
in our real life. So I like that we're talking.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Is he going to get sued?
I don't
If
know.
I smack Chris Rock,
100% you would already have
going
been
to
arrested,
jail.
thrown out. Let's talk about this. In a sports game, this is how I know sports. In a football game, basketball game, whatever.
Those are
Other
sports.
than hockey, where you just get put in a little box, any other game, if you would have punched somebody in the face or smacked somebody in the face, you would have got thrown out of the game, correct?
yeah, but maybe they did like, you know how they teach you how to fight on stage? Maybe like Chris like moved his head and he actually didn't get smacked.
Maybe it was fake. I don't know.
Maybe they'll all come out that they're doing like Independence Day 5.
When have you and I ever talked about the Oscars?
I don't think I've ever watched the Oscars.
Correct. So it worked if it was this publicity stunt because you and I are talking about the Oscars.
Yeah.
And watching parts of it that we've not done before.
That's true.
So that
worked.
I don't know if it was or not, but isn't that crazy? Dude. He would definitely be sued.
Or will.
Yeah.
Like something, you know what I'm saying? Like something's happened in his heart.
I was going to say.
Will
did not smack Chris because of Chris.
Yeah, he smacked because of Jada and because of his own emotions. Will, I got a sermon series I preach called "Above All Else, Guard Your Heart," and you need to go and listen to it. It's going to help you, bro.
That's true.
Promise. What did Denzel drop some knowledge on him?
Yeah. So Aaron said it to me later because somehow he knew that I needed to hear it. But he said, "Hey, Denzel," in the commercial break, went over to Will and said, "Hey, bro, you got to know that in your highest highs, you better pay attention because the devil always attacks you then." And
man. We've been saying that a long time.
I know.
Good job, Denzel. Denzel must be listening.
It's truth and wisdom. And because the fact of the matter is, later that night, Will, I think it was his first Oscar, yeah? Maybe. I think it was. I don't know. Maybe they'll Google it and tell us for sure. But he wins that's the award of the night. They say before the very end. He wins it. He's all crying and emotional, and he says, I'm crying not because of my win. No, he's crying because he's regretting this massive thing he just did.
I've done that.
Yeah. 100 times.
I have 100 times?
No, I mean, me too.
I have been in incredible moments that I should be celebrating, but then my emotions get the best of me and I screw something up. And it might be unrelated. I'm really happy one area, but I say something to Rachel. That she doesn't deserve for me to say that to her. And then now I feel like a loser because I said that. Or vice versa. Some of my family's really great, but something in the organization is falling apart. And so I'm in a bad mood. Yeah.
Right.
The devil be sneaking up on you.
We let these small
and then poor
things.
Chris Rock.
Right.
Then we take it out on somebody that doesn't even deserve it.
He literally was getting paid to be there to tell jokes. And in that context, they tell jokes just about each other.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was the right kind of joke that he should have said. So don't be canceling me because I said that. But that was the job he got paid to do. And so he's just there doing his actual job. It makes me think about when you go to a restaurant and then poor waitress, something happens with your food and they get it wrong and then you yell at the wait. She's just doing her job. It's not her fault the cook made it undercooked or overcooked or, and he's just doing his job and he gets smacked in the face.
Sometimes I'm just doing my job. I get smacked in the face.
I was going to say that happens to us a lot too.
Like on Facebook.
Yes. Or emails or on a Sunday after church.
Bunch of scrubs.
No, and so
throwing smacks.
It's hard because where do you put that aggression and that emotion? Because what you said, Will didn't hit him for that reason. There had to be more happening in the moment, don't you think?
Yeah, I got an email today. Somebody told me they're leaving the church.
Hey.
And you know what I said? You know what I said?
What?
Bye, bye, bye.
I think you nicely said, we bless you as you go.
Yeah.
But that's good.
But I wanted to get mad. I wanted to get my feelings hurt. But you just realize it's not a fit. It's not gonna work.
In the tug of war, you're going to face oppositions, hard moments, difficult situations, and we've had to learn how to not do it. What? What
did I do?
I don't know. You lean back you're about to say something intense.
Not profound.
Oh, okay.
Welcome everybody.
That's right.
Conversation between two friends. This is episode 1
of season 3.
This means that it's episode 51.
That's right.
We've got a new set a little bit.
Yes, I like it.
We've got, we talk about the tug of war. We're the tug of more. So we've got our tug of war rope here.
Yeah.
It's good.
It looks great. I'm excited. And we're sitting across from each other.
You know what I like about this setup?
What?
You can't smack me.
I do sometimes, don't I? But no, I can't. But I think it's good.
The other way,
us.
when we would sit kind of on the angle, if I would start saying something, Whitney would be like my mom and kick me under the table.
Yeah,
you can't. Do it. No, you can't. She got little short legs. I can say whatever I want.
Well, then we may have to rearrange the table. We'll see how long that lasts.
Between my mom pinching, here's how it's worked in my life. When I was a kid, my mom would pinch me back behind my arm. Then when I got married, Rachel would start smacking me, and then now Whitney kicks me.
I kick you under the table. Hey.
And so I just have always had a woman kicking me. Hey. Except now my mom lives here, and obviously my wife, I'm married to her. And so now I'm just getting smacked and pinched and kicked all the time.
Oh, you are Chris Rock. Poor guy. I'm just kidding. No, I think it's a good conversation.
Will Smith.
It brought us to, so yeah, we don't normally talk about current events here, but we do in real life. And as we're talking about it today, that is something we faced so many times, is that in the tug of war, in the tension of finding where we are and where we want to be, there's been plenty of times where our emotional energy to fight something has come in maybe in the right moment and most often in the wrong moment. That there are so many things that want to steal our energy, and there's so many things that we're fighting for. If we're not intentional and careful, we can end up fighting things that we shouldn't. Like, how do we know what fight is worth fighting? And how do we keep fighting the good fight and not the wrong fight, and then end up embarrassed with egg on our face? Is that the right phrase?
Yeah.
The next morning.
Yeah. It's super difficult.
It's super difficult.
Because, like, we have all these different things we do as people. We're a spouse. We're a parent. We're an employee or employer. Right. We're just a citizen. Like, we have all these different things. But all of those details come into one person. And so we like to think that our emotions are relegated to that area.
Right.
But our emotions cover the gamut of all the things.
Absolutely.
And so, like, Will didn't smack Chris over just the joke.
Right.
Will was probably already a little turned up and nervous and anxious. And am I going to win the award? Am I not going to win the award?
Right.
My wife should be giving me stank eye after he made that joke. Like, I don't know all the things. I was watching the thing about Will about how he's gained a bunch of weight.
Oh.
Yeah, like he's gained a bunch of weight. And so he did this like big online thing about how he's going to lose weight and then didn't. Oh. And so he's battling all of these like insecurities. Yeah. He's getting older. He talks about the thing. He used to be like 6-pack, Men in Black, chasing down aliens.
Right.
And now he's like 50 pounds overweight.
Right. No, he was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like,
I was in a, what's the movie?
You were in a movie?
No, I was watching a movie, a Will Smith movie.
Oh.
Where there's the AI. The Will Smith artificial. I'm Robot.
I, Robot. Oh,
I, Robot.
He's in a lot of
I think it's I, Robot. And so there's this scene. I was seeing the movie in Lancaster, which is like near Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And so there's this scene where Will Smith's in the shower and he's naked and you see half his butt cheek. And the ladies in the theater started screaming so loud, screaming. A lady got up and ran across the front like she was in church, ran across the front. So you go from that to then now you're like in your 50s and you've gained some weight and you can't seem to lose it. He's got a lot emotionally going on.
Sure.
Okay, so to answer your question, I think what happens is we don't realize that we have more happening emotionally than we admit.
Yeah.
And then we find ourselves erupting somewhere that isn't the right place.
Yeah.
I've erupted places and it has nothing to do with the eruption location.
Right.
It has to do with the bubbling that's been going on the inside.
Absolutely. No, I think there's so many things, like you said, in our life, so many different things that we're putting our energy into. And if we're not careful to prioritize and make sure we have it in check, there's so many times that I've found things that really, that conversation, that frustration, that there's not anything I can do about it. There's not anything I can actually solve by giving all my energy to it. And yet I've given all my energy here. And then these things that actually desperately need my attention and energy, I am worn out and don't have anywhere left to give to them because I've given it here. And then I find myself playing catch up later to these things that I should have given the energy to in the right moment, and then I'm just exhausting myself, and it's just it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And so I feel like as leaders, we have to learn how to really go, okay, this is something we'll talk about later. This is something I'm going to give energy to in other ways. And I feel like you and I have had to learn that over the last 6 years, time and time again.
Yeah.
Time and time again. Even this morning we were meeting about some stuff and it was like, oh, that's going to take a lot. Let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about that one later. And we had to like move on in the conversation. But what are some practical ways that we can help people? Because I feel like this is probably something people face all the time.
Well,
how do you know the right fight to fight?
How do you know the right fight to fight?
And how do you fight the good fight the right way?
I think that one of the most important things that helps people is transparency.
Yeah.
And so what are some places that we...
Oh, it's good.
What are some times that we did it wrong, that we fought things
I remember in the beginning, anytime we had like massive staff issues to handle, we would build like this long list and we would take all this time before we went and had the conversation of conflict or of, hey, there's something we got to redirect. And it would steal so much emotional energy. We were in the 6 years ago when we started like working together full time. You made the declaration like we will have this culture. We've talked about it on this podcast before about our culture and how important it is. We will clean the plate and the mess of kind of what the culture was in, and we as a team, we will all commit to either grow or we're got to go. We're not going to make it. And I remember in the beginning there was a few redirections that had to be made in some people. And it took so much emotional energy. Whereas now we've determined, hey, we do our part. We have a conversation. It's up to them to make the changes. We would put so much energy in trying to help them make their changes that was their responsibility to make, that at the end of the day, we'd be like, we just gave all our energy to this. And I think we found ourselves sometimes in these month-long emotional drains for things that very first conversation, we knew. They're either going to make it or they're not. But it took us a long time, and I feel like that's something people as leaders, man, if you're running an organization, if you're a boss in any way, you're going to deal with employees and with people that you're going to have conflict with, and it can be really easy to let what could be said, what could happen, what might go wrong, how we could have changed it, steal all the energy from us, right?
Yeah.
That was one for me that I know.
I remember we had a guy told me that his family was going to leave the church.
Oh, yeah.
And the reasons that he was leaving was really silly. Mm-hmm. And like he had somebody in his family who had a political slant that was different than other people in our church. And so I remember having this conversation with him, and I said way too many words to the guy. Because I was frustrated about it was in the COVID season. I was frustrated about all these things.
Yeah.
And then this guy's telling me something, and he's like, I don't even believe this, but my family member, they feel this way, and so they are pressuring me to leave the church. Yeah. And I remember sitting in my truck talking to this guy, and I said it all.
Yeah.
Not mean. I wasn't like yelling at him.
No, right.
And logically, I stand by what I said.
Right.
But
it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
He already had made his decision.
He already made his decision. Yeah. And so I know I kind of joked about the bye thing. Because it hurts. I think it's a cover up. Yeah. It's a cover up because I'm sad about anytime people leave. But man, I said way too many words.
Yeah.
And so though I didn't smack somebody, you can smack somebody with your hands in your pockets.
No,
you can say words. I've got one story that I would tell, but it's probably not okay. We were in a meeting with a guy that we were terminating.
Yeah.
And he's just started arguing some stuff with me.
Yeah.
And I made a statement to him that I regret. I didn't curse or yell at him.
No.
And what I said was real.
It was actually the definition of what was happening.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't the most appropriate. I mean, we're not repeating it. We repeat a lot of things. So
yeah, this guy had some people telling him that what he was doing was okay.
Right.
And I said, man, they are not telling you the truth,
right.
essentially.
Right.
These people are stroking your ego.
Yeah.
They're telling you things that aren't accurate.
Right.
And I said it in a way out of emotion.
Yeah.
That I had to go back and apologize to him.
Yeah.
Later and say, hey man, I do not deserve it from me like that. But what I said was still right.
Right.
And so sometimes when we don't, now this is how many years ago?
Yeah, 5, 6.
When we don't control our emotions in those tense moments, something comes out, and now we're no longer talking about what's happening.
Right.
We're talking about how we handled it.
Right.
Which is the biggest fight of marriage, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
At least for Rachel and I.
No, yeah.
Is we'll be talking about an issue, and then if I get frustrated, now we're talking about how I'm acting instead of the issue.
Why are you yelling at me is what I say all the time, even when he's not yelling.
Aaron's because I'm not yelling at you. You're actually the one yelling at me.
Right.
But that emotion, man, it's big and it boils over.
And it can hijack, like you just said, it hijacks the conversation. It hijacks the moment. I mean, I imagine last night, if you would have been in the Oscar room, the awkwardness in the air.
Oh, yeah, it's awkward.
It had to have been the air was sucked out of the room.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that can happen in the way we are leading, or maybe in the dynamic of the team we're leading, or in the structure of where we are, because we just let our emotions get to us so much that then we fought some fight we didn't need to, and then the people around us are walking around like, what is even happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many times my mouth gets me in trouble because when I'm in a fight, I just think, I can logically, what you said before, like I can logically win. I can cut you. I can explain to you when you were wrong. And I've had to learn that, like, just bite my tongue until it bleeds, which I don't like to do. But yeah, the physical, except hitting my sister. I can remember getting in a fight once with my sister and I was going to win, but also I'm 4.5 years older than her. So of course I was. But other than that, I usually choose my words as my weapon rather than my hands and fists. But
the weird thing about Will hitting Chris Rock is that Aquaman didn't stop it.
Correct.
Aquaman was there, like 2 rows behind Will Smith.
Right. What is?
Come on, Aquaman! What you doing? Bring some peace to the situation.
No, the Equalizer, is that what one of Denzel's characters was?
Denzel.
He did not equalize the situation.
You're right, because the energy was sucked out of the room, and it's funny that all these people who their career is words.
Right.
Nobody knew what to do.
Not until later, P. Diddy got up.
Okay,
and
Puffy.
said, and I don't know what his name is now, but isn't I don't know, whatever. He got up and said, "Hey y'all, we're gonna have fun tonight, and you two can solve this at the family, like family at the after party later." And like he had to make a joke of it, but yeah, for like multiple, you know me, I went down the internet rabbit hole, but like for multiple minutes, it was just this awkward thing of like, did that even happen? Like, there's this lady that's now become a meme where her face is like what is happening? But that can happen in our life, and if we're not careful, then around us as leaders, we become the one that people are like, because they never know when you're gonna blow, when you're gonna become like irrational in a moment, when something that is not about the thing is gonna set you off. Yeah. And I think that's why, if we want to keep stepping into all the more that we feel called to, we have to get it control. Like, we have to figure out all the time, people hurt my feelings, say things that I don't like. Just a few weeks ago, somebody like really ticked me off, and then I had to continue to hang out with them for like 3 more days straight. I had a choice to make.
It was me.
It was definitely, you were there, but like, I had a choice to make. Like, how am I going to respond to this? I can either keep being so mad, or I can, and there were moments in that where I did the right thing and moments when I did not. And like, as humans, we're gonna be that way, but we have to try to fight the right fight.
We've all got those people. You brought up a really good point. We've all got those people that you kind of walk on eggshells around.
Yeah.
Like concerning certain subjects.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna bring this up around them because it leads to an eruption.
Yes.
And what we need to ask ourselves as leaders, as we feel to tug into more, is what are the areas with me that are eggshell?
Yeah.
Like, I've got some that, like, if this topic comes up, I'm going to be triggered.
Right.
I'm going to be more emotionally vulnerable than I would in another issue.
Yeah.
And so when we can start to realize, like, okay, this thing, when it gets brought up, it really like does something, then we can start to defend against having those moments.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody not long ago, and she said to me, well, my husband, he doesn't tell me those things. She said, he doesn't tell me that stuff because I can't emotionally handle it. And they've been married, I mean, good grief, probably 20, 25 years. And I thought, that's an interesting dynamic, but also that clearly means that you got okay with not being able to handle it.
Yeah, not developing.
That the both of you somewhere along the line decided, this is an area that I don't really want to keep growing in, so I'll just guard you from it and not tell you. And I just got sad because I thought, how many things are you missing out on in life by, sometimes our emotions can cause us to be intense, crazy, fight back. Sometimes they can cause us to be a basket case, puddle in the floor. Like, I think there's all kind of areas to watch ourselves, but like, it's worth growing and pushing, tugging into more to say, hey, and then what I wanted to say was, when have you last reevaluated that decision that the two of you have made? Like, when you've been in a relationship with somebody so long, sometimes you have a way, like you and I have worked together 6 years, and there have been times and moments where you've had to say to me, hey, this is not that season anymore. Now we need to function like this. Yeah. And vice versa, where I've had to say to you, like, hey, I think we need to clarify and make some new direction in the way we're going. And like no matter the relational dynamic, the work dynamic, whatever it is, I think that sometimes, like you're saying, once we've identified it, then we have to communicate it and actually be willing to talk about it. Otherwise, it may shift for us internally, but it might not shift for the people around us.
Yeah.
And so we have to be willing to go, hey, I know that, like, for example, I know that you've sheltered me from these things because I've not been able to emotionally handle it. But actually, I want to try. So can we start the next steps to actually bring me into the conversation so that we can go into more together? I feel like if we don't, like there's all kind of ways as leaders that we can shrink and not grow. But when you're saying evaluate, I'm thinking, it might not just be where have I acted a fool and crazy before, but it might be where have I shrunk and hidden before and I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Hit me.
Yeah, get me.
Yeah, tell it to me.
Yeah.
No, we have to keep growing. If we don't grow past those weak spots, then we're never going to get to more. We're just going to stay. We're just going to stay where we are.
Yeah, and in the dynamics around us, because we can all be assets to each other, and like let's keep going.
No, so years ago, when you came on in a pastoral role at the church, there was some pushback.
Yeah.
Which we've taught about before, and I did a whole message on about what I believe the Bible says about women and their role in ministry and their ability to stand in any role that a man would.
Yeah.
And there were guys in the church that pushed on that.
Yeah.
And so I sheltered you from that for a long time.
Right.
And then it came to the point that it was like, I've been letting you know.
Yeah.
Well, something happened just this last week that I haven't told you.
Really?
Yeah. So a guy that had a conversation with me back at the Matlock building about it and said it was unbiblical. I saw him at the gym.
Okay. I don't know this.
And since that's happened, this guy has got a tattoo on his face. So life's going in a great direction for this guy.
A tattoo on his face?
Yeah. And so I'm talking so I'm talking with the guy, which whatever, you have a tattoo on your face, I guess it's okay. But when I saw this guy, I was like, things are not going well for you.
Yeah.
And so talked with him and invited him back.
Yeah.
And he said, I never should have left.
Right. I know.
And I was like, well, man, you're welcome back.
Yeah.
You're welcome back.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who it is later. But it's just funny.
Right.
It's just funny how full circle things are, that this guy I was mad. I was mad and I sheltered you. So I didn't tell you. I don't think I told Aaron or Rach, which whatever. I just took it. And then now all this time later, this guy has some regret for how he handled it and how he's handled his life. And now he's looking to get back into a relationship with God. And so what I had to do is not smack him.
Yeah.
I had to just say, well, dude, it's really good to see you.
Right.
Which it wasn't. And man, I'd love for you to come. Yeah. Because I would. Like there's a part of me.
100%.
My flesh that doesn't.
Right.
But then there's a part of me that's like, yeah, man, it's all good. Well, like we're all in process.
And what you said is so good in that, like, you had the opportunity in that moment to be like, I told you.
Right.
I told you so. Like I told you then, and I can't believe. But your ability to go, you know what? The end goal is more important than this emotion I feel right now, I think is what is like so necessary, because we're all going to regret moments in our life, but we've got to be able to go, you know what, what's the bigger purpose? What's the bigger, and I think that's where you and I have had to learn as we talk about the reason it's called Tug of More is because we're constantly pushing into more, and the amount of things we're juggling in a day, we're having to learn, and we're not always winning. Sometimes we're failing, where to like fight the fight and where to stop fighting and where to sit. And we've talked about rest and waiting and all of those things that we hate, but we have to.
And when to do what?
Right. Like when is the right week? So for us in our context, look, I bored you with my ideas.
I'm eating salads.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to support you in this no carb thing, but some days I'm like, eat a Snickers. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Today's a hard one.
For us in our context, Easter's a big deal. Easter's like
Jesus
Super Bowl for Jesus. Yeah. And so like it is not appropriate for us to try to solve massive problems the week of Easter. And yet we have found ourselves multiple times in this like moment of like, this is a massive distraction from this other massively important thing.
Yeah.
And we've had to learn to balance it. And I sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we don't.
We're getting better at it.
I think so.
We're getting better at, so it used to be when there was a problem that was emotional.
Yeah.
We could get stuck in it for 3 hours of conversation.
Right.
And I feel like now we have got it down to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending what it is.
Yeah.
Or we say back burner, it's last.
We can't even talk about that right now.
It's last.
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end of the day. We'll do it on another day. Because, dude, it can be so easy to get in the whirlwind of a problem that you don't make any progress.
Yeah. It's really good. No,
we have to push some of that to the like, I don't know what we're going to do over there, but we do have to make decision A, B, C, and D.
Right. No, it's super good. And so we're having to learn that. I feel like anybody who's pushing into more has to learn that. And then what I think the other one is to look and celebrate the times we did do it right, because that helps us reduplicate it.
I'm sorry. I don't feel real good this week. And so, yeah.
You're fine. I'm like,
But see, when I yawn, Easton might just cut to you and then nobody even sees me.
I don't even talk.
Nobody even sees me yawning.
I don't even need to read it.
Unless Easton's yawning. And if he's yawning, then it's still on me.
No, I think that is what we're saying is like, we're learning how to do that, but then we have to look at the times we've done it right. So we've talked about sometimes we've done it wrong, but there's sometimes we've done it right. And I think those help us point to, I want to do it that way. There wasn't long ago that the four of us were in a moment where we faced something that kind of just shocked us and shook us for a minute. And we were all four together right there in the moment. And I now, looking back, am proud of how we handled it.
Yeah.
I think in the moment we all kind of felt like stunned, and we all had a little bit of an emotional reaction, but nobody was crazy. Nobody said any cuss words. Nobody, which is me that I'm calling out, nobody like yelled or freaked out. Nobody flipped a table. But instead it was like, hey, this is not a cool moment, but we're going to step away and reevaluate, figure it out, and come back. And now in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to keep having moments like that.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to keep facing Chris Rock or Will Smith, depending on who you are in the moments in my life, right?
Yeah.
But
you're always one of them.
You have
an option: getting smacked or being the smacker.
Yeah, one or the other. And like, when we talked about Chris, like I have never been like a massive Chris Rock fan. He's fine. He makes dumb jokes, whatever. But after watching that, I was like, oh, this dude is like, he did not freak out. He did not start cursing and yelling himself. Like, he acted well in this moment. I'm impressed with him. And that's how I want people to feel about me. Yeah. That as a leader, they're going to see me at some point face moments that are not fun. Moments where people think that I'm the worst, but then later they get a tattoo on their face. Like all kind of things. But I would like it to be that they say about me, but in that moment she handled it. She kept her cool, and she actually redirected everyone to a different and a better moment than the moment they were in right then. And so I think that it's important to call out that, we can spend a lot of time, and I have spent a lot of time feeling bad about myself in moments I've gotten it wrong. But I think we have to point at some moments we did it right, and that will help us keep going the next time.
Right, because when you get smacked, you've got three options. You can smack back, or yell back.
Yeah.
You can run off the stage.
Oh yeah.
Or you can keep the course.
Yeah.
And so Chris picked the best of the options.
He did.
Because if he would have smacked back, and there was a moment you saw it, and he says like, I could, or
and then he like stops him. Yeah, he like,
because he knew, dude, I got dirt on you, Will.
Right.
Or Jada, or
whoever.
I could say some stuff about what's happening and why you just did that. Or he could have just been like, I'm out, and walked off, and the music plays and goes to commercial.
I feel like, never mind.
But he stayed the course.
Right. He was what you would call a class act. And like at the end of that, I'm like, he did what needed to be done. The show must go on. He acted appropriate, and I think he got more fans by doing it.
Yeah.
And when I look at it that way, I'm like, oh, you catch more bees with honey. You get more fans by being like, handling it the right way.
Stable and steady. What if this Sunday So we're in a series right now at More Church where I'm teaching on finances.
Yes.
What if I say something, or maybe I make a joke about you and we have Aaron come up on stage and Aaron smack me? I don't know what it is. I don't know how it would tie in.
Yes, but it would be funny. Find a way. No, I think it's hilarious. We should. Yes,
and then he can scream the F word from the front row during church.
No, he can't do that. We'll bleep it out.
Dude, but so good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. You got anything else?
I don't know. Our timer's not on, so I don't know. We might have been talking for 1 minute or 33 minutes.
33 minutes? Hey, that's pretty good. Any last thoughts about doing fighting fights that aren't your fight? Oh, fighting fights that aren't your fight. That's one we haven't said.
Yeah, that's
one. But what else? Anything else you have thoughts on?
Fighting a fight in the moment of frustration is not smart.
No.
Because you're saying things out of your like flesh response.
Yeah.
And so like it does a lot of good to sleep on it.
Yes.
It doesn't mean your sleep's going to be good.
Right.
But it does a lot of good to have some time.
Yeah.
To gain some wisdom, to talk to some counsel, like the situation you just referenced. I talked to some mentors.
Yeah.
And said like, hey, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm a fighter. Do I fight? Do I lay down? What do I do?
Right.
And determining like the course of action, because sometimes you fight, sometimes you lay down, sometimes you do something in the middle.
Right.
But in the moment, we're probably going to screw it up a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Because we're just people.
So chill out.
Chill out. Take a time out.
Yeah.
Like actually
pull a Zach.
That's right. From Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Time out and then say, how should I respond? What should I say? I used to be the one always that in the moment, I later would be like, dang it, I should have said, blah, 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 you know. Yeah. And I think sometimes that happens, but the truth is, in the end, I'm glad I didn't say the thing that I wanted to say.
I have an idea.
Yeah, go.
So there's a lot of things that we're not good at.
Right.
What if we make a list of things this is a totally different subject.
No, do it.
What if we make a list of things we're not good at, and then we figure out people that are good at them, and then we bring them on and we interview them about what
they're good at that we're bad at? Yeah. How do any of that?
All right, we need to brainstorm that. What do you guys think we're bad at?
And what are you good at?
Tell us. Right. Help us. If you have any ideas of show episodes, man, hit us up. Let us know what you would like for us to teach on. I think that there's a lot of different directions we could go. We've stayed really leadership.
Yeah.
I think we could get into some spiritual stuff.
For sure.
I think that would be, I mean, I know that we touch on it, but I think that we could go spiritual.
Yeah, we can do all kind of things. So
all kind of things.
That's right. Yes. Love y'all. Keep following Tug of More.
See ya.
See y'all.